What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to IgnitionTube. My name's Eli, and behind me is my 3-liter swapped Audi Allroad with a 6-speed and all that fun stuff that I've been thinking about selling. And actually, it's listed on Marketplace right now. So if you're interested, hit me up. If I'm gonna sell the Allroad, I need a replacement. The missus drives the X3M that we have, and I just got the R32 back on the road, which you'll see in an upcoming video, albeit a minor fuel leak. It's kind of silly, but I like having 3 cars because then she can drive 1 car, I can drive 1 car, and I can be working on 1 car either for myself, like we are right now, I'm just changing a slave off camera, or for YouTube making content, and I can leave a car in pieces without needing to put it back together so that I drive to work the next day or drive my son to school or whatever it be. So if I'm gonna sell the Allroad, I have the R32 that I can drive for a little bit, but I like to tinker with the R32, so I need a 3rd car that acts more as like a daily for me. Now, I plan on driving the R32 a lot. Anyway, so I started the hunt. I was looking around, candidly not 100% sure where I wanted to go. I was looking at RS7s for a while, and still am, realistically. I got into the RS7 market. There really wasn't anything that tickled my fancy. And then I started looking at RS5s. I was like, I could buy a higher mileage RS5, and you spend about 20 grand or so on it. And it would be good, and it would be fun content, and see what happens with it. But I had an interesting opportunity present itself. One of my subscribers, Steven, aka Brown Bear on Instagram, who has been following me for forever, we've messaged back and forth a ton, hit me up one day and he was like, hey man, do you want a really cheap B8.5 RS5? And I was like, yeah, expecting it to have like a dumb amount of miles, which you guys know I'm a total sucker for. Instead he said, no, it's cheap because it has motor issues. If you guys don't know, RS5 motors are obscenely expensive. I'm talking between $8,000 to $10,000 for just the motor. So long story short, I end up getting in touch with the owner, who's Steven's boss, and we started chatting. And this guy is not a car guy, but what he is a great car owner. And what I mean by that is he takes care of his cars. This car was religiously serviced at Audi. So he told me that one day he was driving and the car started vibrating like crazy, so he shut it off and drove it to the dealer, or shut it off and towed it to the dealer. And the dealer told him it had blown the motor because of bad gas. Now his insurance company came out and tested the motor for bad gas, and they deemed that that was not the issue. So Audi went back in and basically told the guy, I never got the full story, to be honest, but they said something, he said something fell into motor. So I was like, oh, like did a flat fail or something like that? That doesn't happen on B8.5 RS5, so I learned that later. I was sold on the idea, and the owner gave me a good enough deal that I was like, you know what? Instead of buying a high mileage one, let's buy this one. It only has 60,000 miles on it. May have some motor issues, but at least it runs, and it looks like this. You're like, wow, Eli, couldn't you shut the hood for those glamour shots? Well, the answer is no, because this is a frameless door, so anytime you open it, the glass pops down, but my battery's dead, so I can't do that. I gotta keep the hood open so I can plug a charger into it so that I can open the door so that I can close the door. I think the door will open just fine. I'm worried about closing it. So I'm officially an RS5 owner. I send the money. I call GC Logistics to organize the shipping, which, by the way, if you want a car shipped on the East Coast, you gotta hit them up. They are great guys, car guys. Vadim's even an Audi guy. And we get the car squared away. So he calls me when the shipping guy is coming to pick up the car. He said, hey, we can't get the car to start. They don't have a spark plug in the car, so we need to push it onto the truck. So the shipping guy goes out, thank God he came back. While the car is in transit, I call the Audi dealership. Now, Audi dealerships will not release exact information to you over the phone or via email or whatever, unless you are the owner that serviced it there. But I basically got an overview that said the starter was mechanically locked because of something in the motor, and the motor was seized. Now, this is a little bit different of an explanation that I got originally when I was looking at the car. Again, I'm gonna chalk it up to the fact that this guy didn't happen to be a huge car guy. He was just taking care of the car, and maybe he didn't 100% understand what's going on. So no ill will towards the previous owner, no issues with that. My impression was that it was gonna run, and that it didn't run didn't really make a huge difference because I knew it probably needed a motor. Anyway, I guess way down deep inside, I was hoping maybe it did run and it was something that we could fix, like, I don't know, a valve cover gasket was super torn up or something like that. It's not. My buddy Joe from JR Auto House came by and we found this. pulled this guy out, it wasn't even tight down because it doesn't have anything to grab onto down in there. This guy has a spark plug to grab onto. I'm gonna pull that out so we can see the difference between the two. So the note says, cylinder number 5, spark plug not installed, unable to install spark plug and cup holder. It's not in the cup holder, there's just no spark plug in there, but I pulled out cylinder 6, and it doesn't look like there's an issue with it. All right, I think the iPhone might be my only chance of getting this. Let's see if it'll focus. Yeah, look at that. That's cylinder 5. Joe came by with the Borescope. It already doesn't look good. Oh, woo! Wow! So that's the top of the piston.
Yep. Something got in there. Cause that is the, wait, is that off the valve? Let me see if I can go in the hole.
Oh.
What?
Just saying, that's the valve stem. Oh,
What's
yeah.
left of it.
Yeah. And it just, something must have gotten caught at the top of it.
Yeah, just
pushed it down too far, and then the piston just gave it a good smack, and that was that.
That's the end.
Wow, that's wild.
Dude, I've never seen, yeah, something got in the engine.
So you've never seen a hole all the way through the piston before?
No, not from like something, not something from like, you know, just the engine failing.
So do I get a trophy for that?
That's definitely a trophy. That's, I've never seen something like that.
The cylinder wall's all messed up, huh?
Yeah, it's, I mean, it's definitely up, man.
So, yeah, there is a massive hole in cylinder 5. It said cylinder 5 spark plug not installed. As I said in the video, I could not find it anywhere, but I pulled the valve cover gasket off later to see if we could see anything wrong, and yeah, there was something wrong. I pulled the valve cover off. That has a spring. That has a spring. That has a spring. This one, that doesn't look quite right. Listen to this. Yeah, that spring is gone. Talking to Joe a little bit more. See how that one, and that one are straight up and down? Like if you look over here, all the valves are straight up and down, straight up and down. This one is crooked. That's because the spring broke, and then obviously you saw the broken valve inside the cylinder. So now I can move this one. Like if I try to move this one, it doesn't make any noise. But this one, we gotta figure out what the next steps are here, because I don't think this motor is rebuildable without a significant expense. All right, it's very cold outside, but I want to get this done. Those are off. Wow, that caliper needs to be painted. Now we take the wheel off the RS5, and hopefully these aren't ugga-dugga on there. We'll see. It's actually not bad. Look, there's not even any rust on there. The more I look at it, I'm not really feeling it though. I'm gonna try this with a 20mm spacer first, because by the math that I worked out, the RS5 rotor should be 18mm less aggressive. That is not right. That is not the fitment that I'm going for. All right, it looks nice. It's just not the look that I'm going for. I mean, it fits. I just don't love it. I know some people are like, wow, that's so much better. I don't think so. I think the silver wheels are better. And I think these wheels look better on the RS5 than the silver wheels. So that's that. I'm putting them back. So here we are. We have a 61 or 62,000 mile RS5 in black with the rotor wheels. The car's immaculate. The interior is great. We just, I think, need a motor for it. But I'm not 100% sure how we should proceed. So I want to know, if you guys are in my position and you just bought this car, are you just parting it out? Because candidly, a lot of the parts on this car are still worth a lot of the money. The transmission sells for $5 grand. The front bumper probably sells for $3,500 if it's clean. The rear bumper, the trunk deck lid with the working spoiler, the interior. There's money to be made here if I just part this car out. But I feel like it's not the way to do it. Like, I feel like this car needs a second lease on life. Obviously, we pulled the motor on this car, and Matt was here to help me, but if we're just swapping motors, I think that's something I can handle, maybe with a little help from Pound or from Duck. What you guys have to confirm for me is if I buy a 2013 or a 2015, will it work with my 2014 car right now, or do I need to buy a 2014? I guess we'll cross that bridge when we come to it if it happens, but I'm curious what you guys would do in my boots. Also worth noting, Mannheim on this car is $27,500 at the time of me posting this video. So I paid significantly less than that for this car. Out of respect for the owner, I'm not going to disclose the number, but it is well below $27,500 what I paid for this car, even after shipping. So there's some margins once it's fixed to potentially make some money selling it too, but we'll see. So let me know what you guys would do. Let me know if you're excited for this RS5 project. And if we do decide to keep this car, what modifications are we doing and how fast are we throwing a JHM supercharger kit on it? That's all I got for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Go out there and spread some positivity, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Spoiler alert, I already know what I'm doing. I was just saying that for the video.